Chào các em, trong video trước mình đã trả lời part 1 trong bài thi Vstep Speaking với chủ đề là Favorite Places và Subjects at School. Trong video này mình sẽ nhờ ChatGPT chấm điểm và sửa bài. This is an answer to a question of an English speaking test. The score range is from A2 to C2. What is the score of my answer? Ok, bài này mình được B1 cộng hoặc B2, gần lên B2. Ok. You're currently at B1 plus B1 cộng. Some part, một số phần đã reach B2 with a few improvements in grammar. Một số cái nâng nâng cấp đúng không? Về grammar, sửa về grammar, phrasing, cụm từ, vocabulary range, khoảng từ thì có thể đạt B2. Strengths, ưu điểm này, clear structure, cấu trúc thì rõ ràng này, relevant content, nội dung thì liên quan, được B2. You respond logically to different parts of the question. Bạn trả lời một cách logic nhiều phần của câu hỏi. Each paragraph clearly covers one idea. Mỗi đoạn thì cover một cách rõ ràng một ý tưởng. Free time, city activities, school subjects, student pressure. You provide examples. Đấy, có examples thì đạt được B2 nhé. Thế nên trong bài thi mình nhắc em luôn phải cố gắng có đưa vào examples. Tiếp này. Từ vựng ở bài này thì được có B1 cộng thôi. Đấy. Some strong and relevant word choices, creative ideas, household appliances, decorations, solar eclipse, critical thinking. Đấy. Cái từ solar eclipse là mình tra từ điển. Bài này mình có tra được từ đó thôi. Use topic appropriate vocabulary. Bạn sử dụng từ vựng thì nó phù hợp với topic. Check-in, relaxation, educational activities, go global, cohesion. Thì bài này mình bị mất điểm từ vựng tại vì không dùng nhiều từ khó. Good use of connectors, dùng những từ nối rất là tốt. Also, in addition, of course, when I was a high school student, in my opinion. Areas for improvement, những chỗ cần cần nâng cấp. Grammar and accuracy, từ vựng, ngữ pháp và độ chính xác. Here are some examples of grammatical issues that bring your level slightly below B2. Sentence 1 này. Working in such an enjoyable environment helps us have more creative ideas useful for our work. Help us come up with more creative ideas thì sẽ tốt hơn là have. That are useful for. No, have ideas is okay, nhưng come up with ideas thì nghe tự nhiên hơn. Đấy. Ở đây mình bỏ that are đi. Mình cố ý bỏ giúp của mình để quan hệ. Tiếp này. Many museums such as art and the army, art museums and military museums. Nên kể ra như vậy. Cần phải có thêm chữ museums. Ok. Sentence 3. Ở đây nó lại sửa luôn rồi. Thôi cứ đọc qua một lượt nhé. Lát nữa sẽ nhờ nó sửa sao. It was an interesting subject which helps me become smarter. Which helped me. Chưa quá khứ nhỉ. Đấy. Tiếp. After graduation, mình thừa chữ SC. Some cafes have beautiful decorations for people to check in. Beautiful decorated. Making them popular spots for taking photos or posting online. Social media term, but sounds vague. Nghe mơ hồ. Taking photos, posting on Instagram. The study schedule. is always full with academic subjects thì sửa thành là the study schedule is always packed with academic subjects. Full with cũng được mà. Pronunciation thì người ta không có assess được, không đánh giá được. Your written answer suggests clear organization and coherence. Cho thấy sự kết cấu và mạch lạc rõ ràng. Organization là bố cục, coherence là sự mạch lạc. If your spoken delivery has good rhythm, nếu mà cái bài nói của bạn có cái ngữ điệu tốt này, pronunciation and confidence, phát âm tốt, tự tin, thì sẽ được B2. If it's hesitant or has frequent mispronunciations, nhưng mà nó hơi chần chừ, đúng không? Hesitant nó là chần chừ, hoặc là ngập ngừng, hoặc là vấp đấy, do dự, đúng không? Hesitant. Thì mà thường xuyên lỗi phát âm thì chỉ được B1 thôi. Ok. Grammar được B1 cậu. Từ vựng thì được gần B2. Coherence B2. Fluency B2. Ok. Bây giờ mình sẽ nhờ nó cho mình biết những câu nào nó không tự nhiên và đề xuất sửa. Tell me the sentences that sound unnatural and give me your suggestions. In my free time, I usually hang out with my friends in the nearby park. At a nearby park. Yeah. Okay. In the nearby park. Như sự thành là at a nearby park. Yeah. Making the atmosphere feel comfortable and relaxed. Thì nó ghi là creating a calm and relaxing atmosphere. Okay. Making the atmosphere feel comfortable and relaxed. Để sửa thành là creating a calm and relaxing atmosphere. Okay. Helps us have more creative ideas, useful for our work or for solving everyday life issues. The children help us come up with more creative ideas for work or solving everyday problems. Okay. Helps us have more creative ideas. Cái useful này thì có thể that is useful for our work. Mình đang viết lại câu của mình thôi. Or for solving everyday life issues. Chuyển thành là helps us come up with ideas, more creative ideas. For work luôn, không cần useful nữa. For work or solving everyday problems luôn, không cần life nữa. Okay, help us come up with more creative ideas for work or solving everyday problems. Thế xong câu thứ nhất. Câu số 2. There are a variety of fascinating areas for people to visit on weekends. There are many interesting places to visit on the weekends. Fascinating areas. thì thay bằng interesting places. Ok, mình thử search xem nhé. Fascinating areas. Chỉ có 54 kết quả thôi. Fascinating areas. Interesting places. Ok, interesting places. Nhiều hơn rất nhiều. Ok. There are a variety of fascinating areas. Thì sửa thành many interesting places. Đúng không? Ok. On weekends thì nó sửa thành on the weekends. Người Mỹ nó hay nói on, mình sẽ có giờ on weekends có cái chữ xì ở cuối, tức là nó xảy ra lặp đi lặp lại, kiểu weekends hàng tuần. On weekends thì có hơn 3.000 kết quả. Nghe rất người Mỹ rất hay nói on weekends, on the weekend cũng rất là nhiều.
And even on
Thế nên em có thể nói on weekends hoặc on the weekends đều được, at weekends hoặc là at the weekends đều được. Người Anh hay at, mình search luôn at nhé. At, tại vì cái nội dung trên YouTube là của người Mỹ là nhiều. Đấy. Thế nên là em sẽ thấy kết quả của Mỹ là nhiều nhiều hơn của Anh. Đều được. Tiếp này. Fascinating areas thành interesting places, such as art and the army. Okay. Such as art and the army thì chuyển thành such as art museum and military museum. Okay. Yep. They can hang out with friends, study, or even work in a cafe because the atmosphere tends to be quiet and relaxed. They can hang out with friends, study, or even work there because tends to be usually make it certain. Well, the atmosphere tend to be thì nên sửa thành là is usually, đúng không? The atmosphere tends to be
away from the source,
the atmosphere
it tends to be refracted upward in the atmosphere.
is usually 10 kết quả. Ok, thì sẽ tốt hơn. The atmosphere tends to be quiet and relaxed thì sửa thành là the atmosphere is usually calm and quiet. Yep. Some cafes have beautiful decorations for people to check in. Thì nên sửa thành là some cafes have beautiful decoration for people to check in. Nói nó bảo nói như là ngôn ngữ ở trên mạng, nói như này chuẩn hơn này. Some cafes are beautifully decorated and popular và nổi tiếng for taking photos cho việc chụp ảnh or posting on social media và post lên mạng xã hội. Ok, tiếp. It was an interesting subject which helps me become smarter. Chỗ này phải sửa. Wow, become thứ nhất, to help thì phải sửa sang thì quá khứ. Become smarter thì sửa thành become trở nên thông minh hơn, trở nên become more curious, trở nên tò mò hơn. The world, the physical world I am living in thì sửa thành the world around me, the world around me. Okay, get insights into many phenomena in real life. Cho nên là gain insight mình chưa quá khứ nhỉ. Got đúng không? Got insight into many phenomena in real life. Thì sửa thành là gained insight into many real life phenomena. Xem mình xem got insights với cả gain insight thật là nhiều hơn nhé. Got insight thì được 268 kết quả. Got insights into được hiểu sâu sắc đấy. Hiểu sâu sắc. Gain insight 139 kết quả. Nói chung là cả hai cái đều
In this case, they gain
đều phổ biến. Phải bỏ cái chữ SC got insight đi xem nào. Got insight. Ok, cái chữ insight này mình chưa ít nhiều điều được.
Experience in about 2015 and 2016
Insight.
that we actually
Nó
got
vừa đến
insight
được, không đến
to
được.
both the aged care space and also what was going on in the disability world, and that led to hundreds
Gained
of conversations
some insight.
with family, with friends, understanding how things are working and how things
So
are
now
not
after
working
graduation
in Australia. And it basically set off this light switch of curiosity
after
for
graduation.
Wow, there's a massive change that's needed here. Imagine
the
if we
study
think
schedule
about,
is always full with
disability
many
support
academic
and,
subjects
aged care at the
packed
time
with
as an experience. How can we make this end-to-end experience much better and impact a ton of people along the way?
So basically you did some awesome market research by the sounds of things, discovered a problem.
Coffees, basically. So no real documents.
No, that
Tell
is
me
market,
what's going wrong in your life.
That is market research, mate.
Exactly.
Because you identified a problem, and then you saw that problem exists, and repeat itself through every conversation, albeit slightly different. Slightly unique for each individual.
Yeah, I mean, if you
the study schedule is always full of
around the Australian industry of how do you guys think whether you're receiving support,
helping them develop many
worker,
crucial life skills such as leadership, time management, communication, and critical thinking.
Trapped, people feeling that how are we ever going to get
which
ahead?
helps them develop essential life skills
some of my own goals
like
in life
leadership.
I don't have the right support in place. So it just became so crystal clear. And in those early days, we had a bit more
essential
of a mantra of all ages, all abilities. But what we learned over time was that what we were building and the right solution for the time was so aligned with the rollout of the National Disability Insurance Scheme and people living with a disability.
Timing, mate.
Shift happening to which helps to care
and
clarity,
timing means that you were able to basically cash in on an opportunity. So that's fantastic. So then what became your purpose? How do you describe your personal purpose in life?
What gets you
out of bed, on those tough days?
You're pretty lucky, don't I mean, you've got a lot of hard work
my free
to do
time,
when
I usually
you're
hang
taking
out
on
with
this
my
journey,
friends,
of course, but I would say never really tough days. Like everything, there's such a passion for learning across our entire team and doing it better.
It has a big lake and a lot of trees making the atmosphere
the best way of doing things.
Feel
that's the biggest
comfortable
motivator.
and relaxed.
So we did a lot of thinking from all our learnings over the past 2 and 3 years and
creating
a
calm and relaxing
a
atmosphere.
Worker or a family or
working is such an enjoyable environment
so clear to us that it's
us
all about the right support,
have
the right person,
have
and you
chính
get
sự
the
thành
right
là
support in
come
place,
up with-
and that can change everything. It could mean
Have-
a couple that's
have
having a really tough life
come up with
raising a child
more
with a
creative
disability.
ideas
They get that right support,
for-
that may save their marriage. That may help them devote
for
more
work.
time to their other children
For
that they
work.
feel so guilty because they're
or
neglecting. It
solving
might help a person get into the workforce
every
for the
day
first time. It might help
problem,
a support worker
issues như đó.
leave a job that they absolutely hate, that's full of
Working in
policy
such an
and red
enjoyable
tape and
environment
bureaucracy and
helps us
checklists,
come up with
and
more
actually
creative
devote their
ideas
time
for
to supporting
work
that person
or
one-on-one
solving
with their
everyday
needs. So
issues.
it's huge. And
In
we
my
just-
city,
we
there
keep
are
so
a
many
variety
stories,
of
we
fascinating
share every
areas
story
for
we
people
get,
to visit
and
on
some of the life
weekends.
transformations that are already
Fascinating
underway are
areas.
absolutely huge.
Thì
So
chuyện
it's,
thì
My marketing
interesting
manager
places.
starting to coin purpose
If they need
statements
to
for you
buy
now.
clothes or
You know,
household
the
appliances,
right
they can go to the shopping
person
mall.
at
Also,
the right time.
they can expand their
sorry,
knowledge
what was it?
by visiting many museums
right
such as
person-
art
well, the big one
museums
for us is the
or
right support
military
changes
museums.
everything.
The right support
everything.
with the right person at the right time.
Some people
Yeah.
prefer to spend
That's a
time in a
great
cafe
purpose,
because it is
Yeah, it's
usually
a
has
huge driver.
excellent
It's
services
the whole
and
thing of
tasty
like,
drinks.
sure, you might give
They can hang
benefits
out with
A, B,
friends,
C,
study,
X, Y,
or
Z
even work
with,
in a
with what service
cafe.
and
They
what the
can
platform
they,
delivers to them.
they
But ultimately, what are you
because
actually doing? You're looking to make someone's
the
life
atmosphere
easier and better
is
and
usually
hassle-free.
Yeah. Great.
quiet
Awesome.
and calm.
And how did
Phải
that
relaxed bằng
come
calm bởi
about?
vì
Was that
relax
finding
nhiều.
that purpose easy, or does it, like maybe in hindsight it feels easy, but
In addition,
you
some
remember going
cafes
through that process
are
and just
beautifully decorated.
like iterating on
Dù có bị động thì sẽ
ideas,
được đánh giá
like,
cao
what is
hơn.
it we do? What is it? Who do we
For
do it
taking
for?
photos.
You know, what is our why? If you coin Simon Sinek's statement,
And
Did
posting
you
on
go
social
through
media.
that over and over and over again?
I wish it was that sophisticated. It's if I
Yes.
look back, it was
When I was a
ultimately more
high school
about,
student, the
let's help
subject
one
I
person at a
liked the
time.
most was physics.
Forget the huge
It was
blue
an
ocean,
interesting
like, how do we
subject
make a difference
which
for
helped
that
me
person who's
become
called
more
us?
curious,
They're asking for help.
smarter,
you know, I think
or
about
curious,
a particular family and a lady in northern
and
New
better
South
understand
Wales.
the
She's been
the
looking
world
after her
around me,
daughter, who's
or like the
mid-30s
physical
now,
world I
cerebral
am living in.
palsy, has a spinal injury.
Through
She's been
learning
looking
this subject,
after her
I
by
got
herself for over
insights.
30 years. So well
I
before
got
the
insight
introduction of the NDIS.
into many phenomena
And when someone like
in
that
real
is
life.
reaching
Thì
out
có
to
thể
you
nói ngắn
for
gọn thành
help,
là
they need
real
support.
life
They need a new
phenomena.
support worker team in place.
Cái từ này
That's
đọc
a
là
big driver.
phenomena.
Say, let's just focus
Phenomena.
on you and let's learn. And guess what? There's going to be a lot more families like you around us.
Phenomena.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Solving
really a
one
phenomenon.
problem at a time.
That's it.
Yeah.
Phenomenon.
100%.
Solve, learn,
Yeah.
move on.
Such as
Yeah, we
the
used to call
rainbow,
it test, measure, improve, grow. Test, measure,
solar
improve, grow.
Well, that sounds much fancier. So
and lunar
let's go with
eclipse.
that.
Yes, I strongly believe English
Everything
is
in
an
the marketing
important
land,
subject for
like,
all students at
when you're
school,
doing a new
as it is
client,
an international
basically,
language.
You know, it's always a test.
Being
but
fluent
a lot of
in
people don't
English
like to hear
help
that,
students
like,
become
use
more
your money,
confident
test
when
it.
talking with
Well,
foreigners or traveling
Life's an
abroad.
experiment, right? You,
Gives
you go
them
this way, you go that
better
way.
opportunities to go global after
Absolutely.
graduation.
And
Of course,
so
students today have too much pressure
where
from studying at
has,
school.
I guess, the funding come
The
from?
study
How did
schedule
you
is
actually fund
always
this? Was this a
full of
bootstrap in the
or
early
packed
days?
with
And
Academic
how did you
subjects
get
which
here to
significantly
20
reduce the
almost
time for
2021?
relaxation
I know, a
or
lot of people
outdoor
are very
activities.
excited about that, aren't they?
In my opinion, schools
They-
should
I
hold
mean,
more educational and meaningful activities for
a
students,
lot of people believe
helping
it's
them
going to be,
developing
the most amazing
many
year
crucial
ever,
life
given
skills
what we've
such
just
as
had. And
leadership,
comparison, it
time
probably
management,
will be.
communication, and critical thinking.
I also think that
Ok,
everybody's
mình đã
got
học xong
expectations
với
in check now
ChatGPT.
because they said that in 2019.
There was a bit of that with the turn of the decade, wasn't there? It's going to be the greatest
Không có
decade
nhiều
ever.
câu
Here,
khó
here
từ
we
vựng
go.
khó
And
cả. Nên chỉ
what do
chưa
you do?
được
You just got to keep your
12.
head held high and get on with the days. But
Yeah.
yeah, for us it was a
Học
really
với
interesting
ChatGPT giúp
journey.
mình học được rất là nhiều
Through
điều.
literally
Hy
that
vọng
experience
em cũng học được
of
nhiều điều.
hundreds of coffees and
Chào các em
meetings
nhé.
and just asking people, what are you experiencing?